Hey YouTube. So here's a quick rundown on how the Rockler Rocksteady stands are going as far as the build for my um, replacement bench tops or workstations. So this is the first cart that I built. This is a 16 by 16. I'm going to be using it as a sharpening tool stand. This is the one in my first video where I showed the brackets for the drawers. You can use this to make a shelf, or it's a drawer slide pull or holder. I talked a little bit about how the drawer slides attached to that. So Rockler had plenty of 16-inch drawer slide mounts, these guys, in stock. They did not, however, have the 20-inch in stock. So this is just a way you can, obviously do it yourself at home. So this is a 2x4. This is a piece of Luan, really thin, like maybe a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. But that takes up the space perfectly to put in the drawer slide. This is a 20-inch full extension drawer slide. And it fits. I mean, it is from the outside of this edge to the outside of that back upright is 20 inches. So I would say if you were planning on putting a 20-inch drawer here, you're not going to be able to put in a piece of plywood at all in this rail on the interior. It's going to have to be on the exterior side. Otherwise, you're going to just want to get an 18-inch drawer slide if you plan to put any kind of plywood on the inside of the back rail. Now, this side, this isn't, this is not really doing anything structural, this side mount here. I put this here because my miter saw is going to be on this stand right here, and I'm just hoping it'll help keep the dust out of the drawers. So, couple things that, couple problems I ran into, and it's not even really problems, just things I didn't know. So the upright, the center upright, I talked a little bit about that in my last video, that they make a center upright so you can have drawers on both sides or doors on both sides or a combination of drawers and doors. I'm planning on putting a bank of drawers on each side. So the center rail here has all the holes for mounting the Rockler drawer slides, the mounts, these guys. But again, they don't have the 20 inchers, so I'm having to build a frame. So this piece is 2 inches wide. So I'm having to build a frame, and to get it to 2 inches, I've got 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood with a 1/2 inch piece of MDF and just a little plywood upright. And as I can, make a little wall here for the drawer slides to go. I got to figure out how tall I want these drawers to be. And then I did the same over here with the 2x4 and Luan combo, and that'll work good. It worked really well over on the right side. So a couple things that I'm doing that are kind of unique to my particular build is my dust collection is going to come down from this drop. It's going to run behind. It's going to run behind my counters here. So I actually have everything attached to the counters. So this little 5-inch or 4-inch horseshoe screws right into the uprights with all these little holes that they added. So I was able to put in just a flat screw with a lock washer or lock nut on the back, and that's doing great, holding everything in. It's nice and sturdy. But because I've done that, I've got this extra bit of space in the back. And so what I'm planning on doing is where my drawer is going to be here. I originally planned for a 20-inch drawer. That's why I bought the 20-inch slides. But now that I have that 4 extra inches of space, and I can't put a plywood wall back there because, as I said, you can't put it on the inside because it interferes with the slide. I can't put it on the outside because it'll interfere with the tube. So I figured I might as well just do a 24-inch or 22-inch deep drawer, get a little bit extra depth out of it. It won't be obviously a full extension at that point, but I'm not too worried about that. These are going to be two really big drawers that are going to have, you know, routers and big power tools in them. So it's going to be kind of like a where you keep your pots and pans in your kitchen. It's going to be a big slide out drawer that's open. So I don't really need it to be the full extension. These uprights, I also didn't know they mount on the outside, which was nice. Made it easy to put those right on. I think it would be super simple getting the Rockler drawer pieces in there if I had them. So another thing that I ran into that was good to know, or good to learn the hard way, I guess, is this little connector right here is a bolt that is, you know, has that perfect spacer, but it's also a nut and bolt on each side here. Let me show you on this one. That's what it's going to look like. Goes through to the other side. So if you know you're going to plan on putting in another cabinet, just put them install them in advance. That way you don't have to go do what I did and take them all apart and redo it. It'll make it easier if you do it the first time. So that was kind of good to know. It does not come with, in the package, it does not come with the nuts. It only comes with the bolt adapter part. So you're going to end up with a couple extra bolts, and then you're going to be short some nuts if you want to use those bolts in a different application, kind of like I did here. I put this at the top of the two 32-inch legs, but I came down here and I put in my miter saw drop down here, so I still put in the two bolts and nuts down at the bottom. So something I was expecting to do here with this miter saw station was, you know, just like as it should come down, drop down, so I can get the miter saw to the right height. My original intention of doing this was to put in a 28-inch leg so that I would have a 32-inch leg and a 28-inch leg that I could adjust up and down with the height of the feet. The feet back there, they give about a additional 4 inches of travel top to bottom or up and down. So my thought was, I'd put the foot on here, I'd be able to adjust this to the right height and bolt it into the taller cabinet, or the taller stand next to it. But that's just not the way they engineered it. So down at the bottom there, if I line that up to where this 28-inch stand leg is attached, when I get up here, the bolt holes on the 32-inch just don't line up with the 28-inch. I was kind of expecting these to match up a little better, and they didn't. So had I known that, I would not have bought these 28-inch legs. I don't have any use for these at all right now. I'm going to try to figure something out so I don't have to go all the way back to Portland and return them. But if I would have known that, that would have been nice, because I've seen they sell a set, a miter saw stand where it has the big wings on the end and it's got the miter saw drop in here. And I didn't really look to see how they managed that. I don't know if they make a special leg specifically for that kit or not. That would have been good to know in advance. So when I was doing my research and trying to find all the information for the videos, or watching videos, trying to get all the information for this, I couldn't come up with anything that really gave me dimensions on the legs and what would and wouldn't work together. So the 28-inch legs do not work with the 32-inch legs, as far as them lining up really well goes. Now, when I come over here to my rolling stand, or it will be a rolling stand someday, this is the 28-inch leg, and having it here just standing side by side, it looks like it would line up really well. But it's just off. I mean, it's less than probably a quarter of an inch off at the top and bottom. So it's just a smidge. You know, it could have been perfect if they had. Maybe they planned it this way. Maybe they don't want people doing their own thing. So that's kind of a couple things that I've learned along the way is install these guys in advance. If you know there's going to be a cabinet. I have ordered a corner cabinet that's going to go here. So I'm waiting to, I'm going to attach that. I've got to wait to get my dust collector because it's going to hit a corner cabinet. It's going to come around to my router table over here. And then the dust collection will lock into the back of the router table. So I bought the stand. I had a tabletop. I had a totally different router. I had one of those Bosch routers. So that fence is from the Bosch router. I'm waiting for my new fence to show up. But I stole this on-off switch from the Bosch router also. And it wouldn't line up with any of these awesome holes. It actually would have done like really well sitting kind of off to the side over here, but it was too far away from where I wanted it. So I just drilled a couple holes, put it right where I wanted it, drilled the holes, attached that. So again, that's going to interfere with my original plan of wanting to build in some kind of a miter box or some kind of a router stand and router table here. I wanted to have some drawers that pull out and have a box that would be for the dust collection. The alternative would have been to just, and it might still be, to just adjust the table out a little bit and pull this up and attach it to the bottom of the table. That's how it's originally supposed to be done. But because I know my dust collection is going to be running through the back, I put it really far to the back, the table. I had it overhang back here. And now that I've got this, I can see where the pipe is going to be. I've got a couple inches of table left that I could still push out and probably adapt that shutoff switch to where it would be better mounted. So that might be something I change up in the future. As far as this is just an MDF top. They just have screws. I've got screws that come up from underneath. I'm not certain what I'm doing as far as my top goes here. So I had some old spoil boards from a CNC machine that I kind of broke down to use as a really thick lamination. It's not glued together or anything, but just to get a nice good stack for my miter saw up here. I'm considering just doing a plywood top for now. That's what I had on my old. I got on my 2x4s. This is what I'm replacing, is all this old 2x4 table stuff. And I might just keep this plywood on there for now because it works perfectly fine. And then I'd like to upgrade to like a butcher block or something nice looking. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments for me and I'll try to check them out. Just FYI, I have purchased all this equipment with my own money. I'm not sponsored by Rockler. Rockler didn't give me anything. So this is my honest opinion of how I feel. I really wish I would have been able to get some different legs that would have been matched up with that. I feel like that's either they did that intentionally or they didn't engineer it very well. Because that could have been... I made the assumption, obviously, that... someone would have made this right. So you know what they say about assumptions. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to definitely work on a better bracket in here. And Rockler has these drawer mounts that they've made, but they're out of stock online. So it doesn't really help. And I don't want to wait, months and months until something comes in stock for me to finish my project. So I'm just going to keep plugging away. Most of what I'm using, 2x4s, scrap plywood, all this stuff it's easy. So there's no reason to sit and wait. All right. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you, if you're looking to get these Rockler Rocksteady stands, I hope you learned something, or, you know, found something not to do. So that's what I got. Thanks for watching, guys.